I knew that it was not an ordinary book. It is one of those books we can use for our daily guidance also when we need an answer from Guruji Maharaj, because it covers so many topics. For example, it tells you about, there's a page on meditation. It tells you how to be easy and not busy. She's covered so many beautiful topics, how to be in the moment, in the now. And not only that, it's a very philosophical book also. Really, when I opened this book one day, I was a little disturbed and I needed an answer. The answer that came was so apt, so apt. And luckily, I would be reading that page out also today. And it's a very philosophical book, also very deep. In fact, I don't know whether I will be able to uh, make any comment after reading some of the pages, because they're already um, they're very complete in themselves. And Auntie, thank you for this book, because I think only the very, very blessed few people who Guruji will receive it, will hear it. And it's one of the most priceless gifts we have received. And I know when Auntie was struggling for her life, Maharaj did give her a new life. And very clearly, she was brought back probably to give us this book. We used to receive these messages, divine pathways, one a day from Auntie. And somebody was so kind enough, I think her name is Saloni, who compiled everything. And this book came into being. Everything is, of course, Guruji is doing. But yes, big thank you to all the people who have been working around this priceless book. And thank you, Maharaj, that I am a recipient of this. I don't know how much I will absorb, because this book is got so many messages, but maybe something at least goes into us and helps us to lead a better life and understand Maharaj better. So I start from where Auntie left yesterday. Uh, Shiva, belief and trust. Peace is found when you accept Shivji as the supreme proprietor, controller of your life, your friend, your father. Look back and thank Shivji. Look forward and trust Shivji. He closes the doors no man can open. He opens the doors no man can close. He can make all impossible things possible. To experience this, we must have a positive attitude of faith. We must believe that our prayers will be answered. All things are possible to him who believe. We believe we shall see the glory of Lord. Like I always say, Maharaj can do everything and Maharaj can do anything. And nothing is impossible because he controls the entire Brahmand. Shukrana Guru Maharaj that we know you and you know us, and we are your children at your feet. Abhishekam. He who worships Lord Shiva is relieved from the vicious cycle of life and birth. According to the Hindu rituals, worshipping Shivling with water, honey, milk, and other ingredients is believed to bring peace and happiness and prosperity. As per the sacred literature of Shaivism, Shiv Agamas, worshipping Shiv begins with Abhishekam. This is basically the process of bathing the Shivling with water, honey, milk, and other edible ingredients. For the devotees, beginning Lord Shiva's puja with Abhishekam increases the effectiveness of the puja. Traditionally, Rudra Abhishek of Lord Shiva is done with milk, curd, honey, ghee, sugar, coconut water, holy ash, sandal paste, fruit juice to name a few. But if a devotee cannot offer anything, just milk and water are enough. Abhishekam is the ablution to energize the Almighty. Citing the Shiv Agamas, the worshipping Shiva lingam with water, milk, and ingredients is all about cleansing the energy. It is believed that water is basically an electrolyte which transmits energy much faster than air. Thus, pouring holy water on Shivling releases powerful vibrations and energizes the deity. It helps in cleaning the negativity in the aura and correlates the mind and water as one. Similarly, the addition of milk after pouring holy water is believed to nurture and nourish the brain and soul with goodness, compassion, noble thoughts, and sattvic mindset. It is believed that performing Abhishekam is a right way and it helps in burning all bad karmas collected in our past lives. Lastly, worshipping the deity with honey brings sweetness in the voice and thoughts. Now we come to who is Shiva? Are they gods or just a myth? Or just or does Shiva have a deep meaning available only to those who are searching? Many stories and legends are heard about the most important god of Indian spiritual culture, Mahadev Shiva. Are they gods or just fantasy of Hindu culture? Or does Shiva have a deep meaning available only to those who are in search of truth? Meaning of Shiva. When we say Shiva, our point is towards two basic things. The literal meaning of Shiva is which is not. Shiva is zero. Today's modern science has proven that everything in the universe comes from zero and goes back to zero. The basic of this existence and the basic quality of the entire universe is huge emptiness. The galaxy in her are just small activities like a shower. Apart from him, everything is emptiness, known as Shiva. Shiva is the womb from which everything is born. He is the anonymous in which everything is reconstructed. Everything comes from Shiva, and Shiva is darkness. So Shiva is called non-existence, not like an existence. Now this is very deep. This it is like, okay, as Auntie explains this also. So Shiva is called non-existence, not like an existence. They are told as darkness, not light. Humanity always sings the praises of light because their eyes only work in light. Otherwise, the only thing that is always is dark. Light is limited because any source of light, whether a bulb or the sun, will eventually stop spreading light. Light is not eternal. It is always it's always a limited possibility because it begins and ends. Darkness is a huge possibility from light. There is no need to burn anything in darkness. Darkness always prevails. Darkness is eternal. Darkness is everywhere. He's the only thing that occupies everywhere. But I say divine darkness. People think I'm a worshipper of Satan. Really, in some places in the West, it is being spread that Shiva is monstrous. But if you see this is a theory, you won't find a clearer theory than the whole process of creation in the whole world. I have been talking to scientists around the world without speaking the word Shiva. They rise with surprises. Is it? Do you know these things? When? We have known it for thousands of years. Every common man of India knows it is an unconscious way. They talk about it, but they don't even know the science of it. Now we come to the meaning of the Adi Yogi Shiva. First yogi, first guru. On another level, we say Shiva, we are talking about a special yogi, those who are Adi Yogi or first yogi, and who are Adi Guru or first Guru. What we know today as yogic science, Shiva is the father of it. Yoga does not mean that standing on your head and holding your breath. Yoga is the science and technology of learning the basic composition of life and taking it to your ultimate potential. Yoga, yoga science's first communication took place on the banks of Kanti Sarovar, which is the icy lake located few miles away from Kedarnath in the Himalayas. Here, Adi Yogi systematic details of this internal technique to his started giving systematic details to this internal technique to his first pupils. These seven sages are known today as Saptarishi. This happened before all religions came. Before people were designed to divide humanity badly, the most powerful means to lift human consciousness was proven and spread. Today, humanity is divided in such a way that it seems impossible to reunite. Shiva, the two meanings of the same word. So the word Shiva points to both he who is not and Adi Yogi because in many ways they both are synonymous. The creatures which are yogi and that emptiness, which is the origin of the universe, both are the same. Because calling someone a yogi means that he has experienced the universe is himself. If you have to settle this universe within you, even for a moment, you have to become that void. Only emptiness can contain everything within itself. Everything that is not zero cannot be contained within itself. You cannot put sea in a pot. This planet cannot accommodate the ocean, nor the solar system. The solar system can accommodate the planets and the sun, but the rest of the sky cannot accommodate Ganges. If you move forward step by step like this, you will eventually see that only emptiness can contain everything within you. This meaning of the word yoga is union. Yogi is the only one who has experienced this union. It means, at least for a moment, he has become a complete void. The two meaning of the word the two meaning of the word Shiva, Yogi Shiva and void are synonymous, and yet they are two different aspects. Because Indian culture is full of duality, we keep coming from one side to another. One moment we talk about the supreme element Shiva, the next we start talking about Yogi Shiva, who has given us the gift of yoga. Grace of Almighty bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Now, uh, I just think this reminds me of one shabad, tu karta tu hua, mujh mein raha na koi. जब हम खाली होते हैं, it is only then that we can feel the presence of the Lord within us. That is as close as I can think to this very profound explanation. Now we come to Vairagya. Vairagya means indifference and disenchantment with the worldly things. Shivji lives in the cremation grounds and smears with ashes. Shivji teaches that this body that we are proud of will become ash one day. With better example, could there be disenchantment? What better? What should be what better example could there be of disenchantment with the living world? Vairagya. Vairagya means sacrificing everything even while living. Gives himself up to the funeral grounds, not expecting anything from the world. Vairagya is dispassion, Vairagya is detachment, Vairagya is indifference to sensual enjoyment, Vairagya is born of Viveka, or discrimination between Nitya and Anitya, eternal and non-eternal, Sat and Asat, real and unreal, Tattva and Atattva, essence and non-essence. Each of these lines can be one chapter. It is very, very deep. Viveka comes from selfless service done in several births and through worship and adoration of Guruji. And through the grace of Guruji, from Viveka is born Vairagya. It gives spiritual strength. A man of Vairagya has no attachment for the material world. So, Vairagya is a supreme, inexhaustible wealth for spiritual aspirants. Vairagya aids in the concentration of mind and generates strong yearning for emancipation. Vairagya is a mental state whereby the mind does not run into sensual grooves. It moves on towards Atma, towards Guruji. You may live in a palace and yet have absolute Vairagya, even in the midst of temptation of the world. One may go to the forest renouncing the kingdom and yet will not be established in Vairagya, as you are attached to the body. Attachment to your living belongings. Grace of Almighty, bow down to Guruji's lotus feet. Now, Auntie talks about Shiva and Shakti. Directed purpose, freedom, and awareness. These are divinely masculine qualities. The masculine energy of Shiva is aware of everything that comes into creation. All the things of creation are birthed through feminine aspect of Shakti, and all of us have these qualities in us as well. They are dance, movement, power, energy, and the freedom to become. Shiva is pure being in its stillness. Shakti is pure becoming in all her flow and creativity, as well as her endless opening of possibility. Your inner masculine side knows who he is and the powerful and the purposeful in his knowing. The deep wisdom and capacity of awareness within Shiva. Shakti is the motherly love for God that surrounds us with warmth, caring, and protection. Shiva is the paternal love of God which gives us consciousness, clarity, and knowledge. Shiva symbolizes consciousness, the masculine principle. Shakti symbolizes the feminine principle, the activating power and energy. Whether a power becomes active Whenever a power becomes active and wherever the energy exists, Shakti is working. Shivji represents the state of being unmoved by pain, suffering brought on by the external world. He is centered, grounded, and compassionate. We can invoke his pure presence through meditation to call in the extraordinary qualities of Shivji in our own being. Direction, purpose, freedom, and awareness. These are masculine energy of Shiva. Uh, Shiva is aware of everything that comes into creation. All the things of creation are birthed through the feminine aspect of Shakti, and all of us have these qualities within us. They are dance movement, power energy, and freedom to become. Shivji is pure being in its stillness. Shakti is pure becoming in her flow and creativity, as well as her endless opening to possibility. Your inner masculine side knows who he is and the purpose in his knowing. There is deep wisdom and capacity of awareness within Shivji. Grace of Almighty bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Now, what I had understood and learned of Shiva and Shakti is that Shiva is matter and Shakti is energy, and together that is how creation comes about. And also the when Shiv ki jab E ki matra hata di jati hai, it becomes Shav. So together, the E ki matra is the female energy, and that becomes the complete uh, male and female energy together, which causes creation together. So now we come to Nandi. नंदी शिव जी का सच्चा और परम भक्त सिर्फ एक ही है, नंदी जी. नंदी the mount of Lord Shiv. And when Lord Shiv dances, he plays the madhalam. He has the acute sense of rhythm as well as and is well versed in music. Some people have elevated him as equal to Lord Shiva, thus bringing a sense of jealousy in Ma Parvati. Most times, Parvati treats Nandi as a bull, a mount, a carrier, the primary vehicle when she needs to take a walk with Lord Shiva around Mount Kailash. Inwardly, Parvati ji realizes that Nandiji is an obstacle to all the devotees of Lord Shiva because in all the Shiva temples, Nandi is present in front of the sanctum just as a gatekeeper. So most devotees first pray to her firstborn Vinayaka that there should be no vighan while praying to Lord Shiva in his abode. There is one there is one another reason why the idol of Vigneshwara, Vigna Vinayaka is placed predominantly in all Shiva temples. In Tamil language, Nandi is a metaphor for a person blocking the way. In Sanskrit, the common bull is Varisha, meaning righteousness or dharma. So it is important to seek the blessings of Nandi first before one proceeds to worship Lord Shiva. In temples of Shiva, you find Nandi, the bull, in front of the deity. The truth is just as Lingam is the symbol of Lord Ishvara, Nandi, the bull, is the symbol of Jiva, that is the individual soul. Therefore, just like Nandi, man must turn away from Prakriti and direct all his attention towards God, Gurudev Maharaj only. There are some more meanings for the symbolism. For instance, it is said that no one should stand in between Shiva and Nandi. One should have the vision of Ishvara by looking through the space in between the two ears of Nandi. The underlying idea is that the sadhana of using the ears to listen about Ishvara, Guruji alone. The animal nature in the bull becomes transformed into divinity, and because of its merger with Ishvara, Guruji, it is called Nandeshwar, bull god. It is that man should also try to merge with God by following the example of Nandi, grace to Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Now we come to Omkara. The whole world is born from one Omkara, one divinity. Everything around is composed of the vibration of the one Omkara alone. Om is the eternal sound that exists in the depths of one's consciousness. If you go to the ocean and listen carefully to the waves, you will find the same sound, Om. If you go to the top of the mountain and listen to the wind blowing, you will hear the sound Om. Before this birth, we were all in Om. After this birth, we will die and we will merge into the cosmic sound Om. Even now, in the depth of creation, the sound still resonates. Whether Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, Taoism, Shintoism, in all religions, Omkar, Om chanting is given much prominence. I'm told in Christianity, Amen also comes from Om. Ekonkar also is Om. So Om, Om, Om everywhere. That is the sound which is being spoken about. Om is not just a sound or a vibration. It is not just a symbol. Given its widespread use in Hinduism and other religions, Om's meaning is far, far-reaching, usually pronounced as Om. Om sound and symbol are believed to illustrate unity between the three words in Hinduism: earth, heaven, and atmosphere. But that isn't the only trio Om is said to embody. It may represent the three major Hindu gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or the three Vedic scriptures, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda. Even the design of the Om symbol is sacred, with each curve dot stroke symbolizing the key component of the mind. The bottom must curve, the bottommost curve on the left reflects the waking mind. Above that, uh, the above that illustrate the mind of the deep sleep, mind in deep sleep. The curve on the far right reflects the dreaming mind. The dot represents the fourth unknown state of consciousness, which is believed to be far from the human experience, that it may be separated from the semicircle which you see beneath the dot. Altogether, Om is the sum of the four states of consciousness. It is the entire cosmos, whether we see, touch, hear, or feel. Moreover, it is all that is within our perception and that which is beyond our perception. It is the core of our very existence. If you think of Om only as a sound, a technique, a symbol of the divine, you will miss it altogether. Om is the mysterious cosmic energy that is the substratum of the things and all the beings of the entire universe. It is the external song of the divine. It is continuously resounding in the silence of the background of everything that exists. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. So I just received a message this morning on Om and I saved it, where it says Om is the sound of creation and Namah Shivaya is my salutation, or I bow Shivaya to Shiva. That is, of course, our Guruji. I bow to Shiva. And then it says, yeah, this is what I received this morning. And now we come to the next is Mahamrityunjay Mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmi Bhavandanat Mrityor Mokshya Mamritat. We meditate on the third eye reality which permeates and disnourishes all like a fragrance. May we be liberated from death for the sake of immortality. Even as the cucumber is severed from the bondage of the creeper. Mahamrityunjay Mantra's great death conquering mantra. That is what Mahamrityunjay Mantra means. Also known as Triambakam Mantra, alluding to Shiva's three eyes, and it sometimes is known as the Mrit Sanjeevani Mantra because it is a component of life restoring practice given to the primordial stage sage, not stage, actually it's written stage, the primordial sage Shukracharya after he had completed the exhausting period of austerity. It is said to be beneficial for mental, emotional, physical health and to be a moksha mantra which bestows longevity and immortality. According to some Puranas, the Mahamrityunjay mantra has been used by rishis as well as sati during the time when Chandra suffered the curse of Prajapati Daksh. By reciting this mantra, the effect of the curse of Daksha could make him die, which could have made him die, slowed down, and Shiva took Chandra and placed it on his head. This mantra addressed to Lord Shiva for warding off an untimely death. It is chanted while smearing vibhuti on the body and utilized in japa homa to get desired results. While this energy protects and guides and initiates a mantra, relinks consciousness to its deeper and more abiding nature, and repetition of the mantra constitutes japa, the practice of which develops concentration that leads a transformation of awareness. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Now there is in the Shiv Puran, we do read about the curse which the Daksh's curse, and it is in more detail. why was he cursed, and how he was saved with this mantra. Atma. So the first step to knowing everything with devotion is you know something, but you don't have faith in it. It will be lost in adverse situation. Okay, so what does it say? Atma. So the first step of knowing everything with devotion. If you know something but you don't have faith in it, it will be lost in an adverse situation. So first, the nature of oneself, it is called Atma. A jiva is a substance with full consciousness. The other name for oneself is Chaitanya. The substance can never be destroyed by any process, nor be generated by any god. So we, Atma, so we are Atma. Atma lives from beginning, less time to endless time. Like Atma, the outer matter is also immortal, but it changes form from one form to other forms. Like energy changes form, Jiva also changes form. It changes form by taking birth individually at different places even after that. The sense of attachment remains with us. The attachment with our divine is a continuous process, birth after birth. Thanks, Guruji, our Palanhar, for offering what's excellent for us. Grace to Almighty, grace to Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. Now we come to true love. This is the page which Guruji showed me when I was seeking an answer. True love. Don't look for human love, it will vanish. Be devoted to God and take shelter at his divine feet. It is enough to remember that there is someone watching over us. He is our father, he is our mother, always protecting us. Enjoy only what the Lord gives you. All else leads to delusion. Remember, we have come to this earth solely to learn and know God. We have come from him, and our only purpose should be to merge with him. Love is the path of surrender and sacrifice. In love, there is no law except the will of the beloved. Whatever the beloved orders and commands, the lover bestows his head in obedience, bows his head in obedience. A wealthy man cannot dream of his own commands in the state of love, where one must undertake to be humble and humble and agree to be subservient. Ego and love cannot remain together. Kabir says, if you wish to taste the nectar of love, you cannot be arrogant. Two swords cannot be contained in one scabbard. Real love removes the lover from the worries of pleasure and pain, praise and blame, poverty and wealth, and takes him from all such limitations. Love enters every cell of the lover and gives him unlimited power so that he is never in need of wealth or fame or honor or name. He has no desire for this world or the next. He is freed from the web of heaven and hell. He is no longer tempted into the snares of rituals or worldly ties. Grace of Almighty, bowing down to Guruji's lotus feet. So this is where today's reading ends. I ask for forgiveness for the many mistakes I have made while reading. Jai Guruji. And I don't know, there are no comments that one can make beyond what is written in this book, which is so profound. Shukrana Guru Maharaji, Jai Guruji.
Thank you, Aarti Singh Aunty, for the blissful reading. Truly, what you said was very, very right, that this book needs to be read and reread again and again to understand the deep lying meaning of each word. Very, very blissful reading. Thank you so much.